Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, and I want to go over some very exciting information. It looks like EA is definitely going to be returning back to Steam. They posted a image on Twitter that leads me and a lot of other people to believe that. I want to talk a little bit more about that, as this has been rumored for a little bit, but now more fuel is being added to the fire, and I think this is a great decision. And if EA wants to get more people playing their games, hey, I think this is a great idea. Also, Steam is adding another new feature where it is asking users if they want to revise reviews after playing more hours out of a game, which is really good because revising reviews is something I think should definitely be implemented in all games. I'm not saying spam the user with notifications about revising reviews, but if they put a significant amount of time into a game that they already posted a Steam review for, well then yeah, your thoughts on the game may have changed, and updating the review probably makes a lot of sense. So we'll talk that, and also it looks like Halo MCC's flight testing might be kicking off this coming Monday, and that should be the final flight testing for Halo Reach, which should open the door for a release shortly thereafter. But let's talk first EA possibly returning to Steam. EA's got a steamy teaser on its Twitter account leading credence to the recent rumors that Electronic Arts is preparing to move back onto Valve's Steam platform. This comes after the discovery that Steam was gaining the ability to launch EA and Origin titles by utilizing a background Origin application. Basically, it looks like EA games are coming to Steam, though they are likely to still need an Origin account to operate. If you guys remember what Ubisoft did with their Uplay releases, you would get the game on Steam, but it would still ultimately go through Uplay. But a lot of people like that because they just wanted to have their games naturally on Steam, get Steam hours, Steam achievements, stuff like that. And this is a huge win for Valve. I mean, they're just going to be adding a bunch of high-profile titles to their platform, games like Star Wars Battlefront 2, Battlefield 5, and not only that, for these games to come back on Valve, they might get a second life. I mean, if somebody just sees Star Wars Battlefront 2 and it's discounted on Steam heavily and they just decide to pick it up, hey, Star Wars is a big franchise, this looks pretty cool. I know it had a negative reception leading into its release, but a long time has passed, it's $6 or $7, whatever the case may be. That could be a revitalization point for a lot of these games, and it goes to show with a game like Destiny 2. Destiny 2 has been one of the top games. Forsaken is still one of the top sellers on Steam, as is Shadowkeep, and Destiny 2 people are still playing that in droves. Let me pull up the player base right now, but 177,000 people are still playing, and we're talking, it's been a few weeks since Destiny 2 made the transition to Steam, and people are still invested into the experience heavily, and now it is the most played version of the game if you compare it to the PS4 and Xbox One versions as well, so kind of goes to show what a juggernaut like Steam can do, and of course a game going free to play definitely helps as well. I still have some uncertainty as far as how certain elements are going to work. I imagine if you do want to subscribe to EA Origin Access or whatever, you would have to do that directly through the Origin application, and you wouldn't be able to do that through Steam. Given how Xbox Game Pass, that's its own separate application, you're not subscribing to Game Pass through Steam. You can still buy a game like Gears 5, but it will be full priced. However, for a lot of these games, whether it be a Battlefront 2, a Battlefield 5, I think that is going to have an inherent level of interest, even from people that don't want to subscribe to Origin Access. And yeah, I know a lot of you guys, my viewers, know about Origin, but there is a sector of PC gamers that don't follow all of these other e-tailers. They don't know about stuff like Green Man Gaming, Humble. I mean, I've often seen Humble monthlies come out, and then a game will be put on sale that's in that monthly as an early access title. It'll be put on sale on Steam, and it'll be like $15 to $20, and then the game will still end up being a top seller on Steam. Some people just prefer to buy their games directly on Steam, and their games are only being promoted to them by Steam. It's a real thing. I know all of you guys are in tune with what's going on in the PC gaming world, but there are a lot of casual gamers that only follow releases on Steam, and maybe they'll have Epic downloaded for Fortnite. I know Fortnite is huge, so a lot of people have that installed as well, but you guys get the idea. It also remains to be seen exactly how many of their games would come back to Steam. Would it be the entire EA library? I would love that, because I would love to check out Dragon Age 2 on Steam. Would love to have Mass Effect 3 on Steam. There's a lot of games, if you look about it, over the course of the last, 7-8 years since EA moved away from Steam and onto Origin. Crysis 3 is another title. Mirror's Edge Catalyst would be cool to have on Steam. A lot of titles that EA could be putting onto Steam, and it would be best for the consumer if we did have the option. Hey, if you have Origin Access and you just want to play your games that way, by all means. But if you want to get your games on Steam, hey, the winter sale is coming up. Adding all of these games back to Steam prior to the winter sale, that makes a lot of sense, and I think EA is fixing to make a lot of revenue if they do go that route. Will be interesting to see if at some point Uplay goes that route and Ubisoft goes this route, because of course Ubisoft is deflecting from Steam at this point. They're releasing their games on EGS and they will be releasing their games on Uplay. I understand from their standpoint, because they are making out like bandits. They can take some money from Epic Games and then they can just release their games on their own platform and then have people just buy their games on their own platform. They're keeping all the revenue. They're getting free money from Epic. Yeah, it kind of sucks for Valve and Steam users, but honestly, it's not the end of the world. I think that just made sense for everybody involved. Whatever the case may be, a very interesting story to see develop. And it'll be interesting to see if Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order ends up being released on Steam. Does Need for Speed Heat end up being released on Steam? I think those are some games that would do very well on PC, especially a game like Jedi Fallen Order. I think if that came out on Steam, if that was a well-received title, people would be all over that, and people would be all over it paying $60. I think that is a game that people would pay $60 for right away and not even subscribe to Origin Access Premier. It's a game that I think a lot of people would want to own. So, very interesting story to monitor, and I'll keep you guys posted on that. Also, as far as Steam updates go, here's something cool that they're implementing. Steam is asking users if they want to revise certain reviews if they play a lot more of a certain game. The example that PC Games N had was of Destiny 2. A screen grab posted to Reddit shows the storefront politely asking the original poster if they would like to revise their review of Destiny 2 Shadowkeep, referencing the fact that they've played an additional 93 hours after offering their initial thoughts. A lot of the times you'll see Steam reviews roll out and it'll specifically say they only have a half an hour in a game or whatever the case may be, and if you put in another significant portion of time into playing a game, obviously your opinion's gonna drastically alter and your review should be revised. A lot of you guys downplay how important Steam reviews are, but they are very important. If a game has an overwhelmingly positive reception on Steam, that is a legitimate promotional tool. People that are just browsing around Steam and they click on a game and they see that overwhelmingly positive tag, they are much more likely to actually dig into the game and learn about the game. Not necessarily saying that they're gonna buy the game, but that gives the developer and publisher a little bit of a window of opportunity to sell the consumer on their game, and that's where all of the images, screenshots, and the description of the game comes in. All of the videos that are uploaded to YouTube, they're gonna look into that. It's a huge tool, and you can make an argument that Steam reception is what really propels a lot of the lower key titles. A game like Disco Elysium. Disco Elysium was a game that not a lot of people knew about. However, when you start clicking on it and you see the Steam reception, even though it's not overwhelmingly positive as of the recording of this video, it's actually 1% shy of that, 94% positive, but you get the idea. It has a super positive reception. Okay, let me look into this game a little bit more. Now that developer has an added window of time, where otherwise if it just had a mostly positive reception or a mixed reception, they're gonna look at one or two images and they'll be like, alright, I'm out. If it has a super high positive reception, maybe they'll buy it right away. Maybe they'll add it to your wish list. Whatever the case may be, they have that window of opportunity to sell you on the game. It's a lot more important than people think. And again, half an hour, 2 hours, even 8 or 10 hours after playing a game like Destiny 2, well, that opinion is gonna drastically alter over the course of the next 100 hours, and if you're putting another 100 hours in the game, alright, maybe you should revise your reviews, just something to think about. So cool to see that Steam is implementing that as well. I'm not an advocate of, suffocating the consumer and, telling them over and over again, revise your review, and keep giving them notifications. However, every now and again, after every 30, 40, 50 hours of playtime, maybe it's something cool to do. Lastly, I do want to give you guys a heads up that it looks like the Halo MCC Reach flight test will be kicking off very soon over on Halo Waypoint. There is another update on that, and it was noted by Postumus. I'm going to keep to this week's flighting update short and snappy because we are on the cusp of putting out our final scheduled flight for MCC on PC. But if you haven't updated your profile recently for the Halo Insider program, go do that now. This means verifying your email and a bunch of other stuff that I won't get into right now. The content for this flight includes 2 campaign missions, multiple offerings for social and ranked matchmaking, custom games, and firefight matchmaking. During each play session, you will be able to play using a keyboard and mouse or with a gamepad should you choose on your PC. All 3 types of content will be available over the course of the flight, but select offerings for multiplayer and firefight matchmaking will change daily. Please see the next section for daily matchmaking options, and they go over everything that is going to be available, and it's a significant amount of content. Final flight test, and hopefully that means the game will be out before the end of the year. Would love to see Halo Reach release before the end of the year, especially if you want to sell a bunch of copies of the game on Steam prior to the start of the Steam Winter Sale. You can put like a 10% or even a 5% discount on the game, and you know, just promote it that way, and a lot of people will end up buying the game, especially because it's being released at $9.99. And of course, it will be available directly as a part of Xbox Game Pass. No real reason to put out Halo Reach right now, just because you want to time out the releases to promote Xbox Game Pass. So in October, they had The Outer Worlds. That was the major Xbox Game Pass outing. September, they had Gears 5. In November, December, having a Halo Reach would pay a lot of dividends, so that would be something really cool to see. Just my 2 cents on that. And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, more fuel to the fire as far as EA coming back to Steam. Steam getting more updates with Steam review revising after you put more time into a game, and then Halo MCC, the final flight test, will probably be happening later next week, so that's very exciting. Hopefully we see a release by the end of the year as well. That's gonna conclude this video. If you guys have a request for a future video, you can leave that in the comment section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.